Hobson.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through D be approved as presented.
Second?
Any comments or questions on this? I just wanted to call everyone's attention to the appointments. Under Administrative and Auxiliary, we have an appointment to the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, and that will be Chantel Cherry, who has graciously volunteered. We have the, bless you, appointment to New Jersey School Boards Association, and that will be Mr. Irwin. I'm sorry, the alternate district representative, that's why, twice. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, if we could call the roll.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Irwin?
Yes to all, abstain on B.
Mr. Patel?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Mrs. Hobson?
Yes.
Mrs. Deepan?
Yes.
Mrs. Lopez?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
All right, this moves us to our committee reports. And so we have a couple of committees that are reporting this evening. Who would like to go first? And if you all have, if anybody's is interested, you all have copies of the committee report, the full reports in the audience on the table. Who would like to go ahead? Yes, go right ahead. Mr.
All
Irwin.
right. The Policy and Legislative Committee had a great first meeting of the new year on Thursday, January 10th. The committee reviewed its roles and responsibilities and agreed upon new language for the district's website to describe our work to the public. We set up the committee's annual goals for 2019, and we developed a timetable for the completion of the committee's review of the Strauss Esme Policy Manual. We also discussed the recent New Jersey Appellate Court ruling striking down a regulation requiring park tests as a graduation requirement, and Assembly Bill A1414, which would require financial literacy instruction for middle school students. You have our written report, which goes into these topics in some detail, and will be posted on the district's website, and we're happy to answer any questions you have about the report or the committee's current work.
Any questions?
All right. Seeing none, our next meeting will be on February 7th, when we'll be reviewing the 6000 series of the Strauss Esme Policy Manual, formalizing our minutes, reports, and agenda setting process, and continuing our discussion of how to achieve our 2019 annual goals.
Yeah.
I only have one comment, and that is, as a former member of the policy committee, I want to thank those people that are on the policy committee because it's a lot of reading.
It's a big manual. Somebody's got to read it.
It's a short report, though.
Yes.
Okay, who would like to go next?
Yes. So the Culture, Climate, and Community Relations Committee met on January 15th to review our mission, review projects currently underway, and begin discussions on future endeavors. We talked about a few items. The full report is out there, but I just wanted to point out a couple of them. One of them that we're really looking forward to is piloting the positive reinforcement messages on the bathroom doors at Quibbletown. Mr. Gonzalez has agreed to do the pilot there, and he suggested folding it into what they're calling a known name calling week, which is sort of focusing on HIB. So we are going to leverage that because the students will be creating positive messages as part of that. So we will leverage that to select some messages that will then go on the bathroom doors, and the plans are underway to have that completed for when the students return from spring break. And the other key item I would like to talk about is the community resource brochure, which I will pass out, that Judy has graciously provided for us tonight. So I'll pass these down and we can pass them out to you. But this is the fruition of one of our initiatives where we wanted to show how Piscataways school services fall into the community schools buckets. So when you look at this your brochure, it sort of buckets our support services into categories such as family services, school climate and health, parent engagement, academic support, and community connections. And there's a lot of information in this. It's completed. This will be in the schools, in the libraries, at town hall, and it's also fully on the website with links. And Judy is going to be doing a PR and publicity launch during the week of January 28th. And our next meeting is on February 19th. And if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them.
Congratulations on that.
This looks great.
Beautiful
Yeah.
resource. So we took our time with it, we took your time with it, and it ended up being, it's going to continue on. This is something that we will have for many years to come. And we can consistently update it and look for suggestions, but it's a job well done, and Judy's not here, but
Yeah.
Judy did a
Kudos
whole lot
go
of
to
work.
Judy
Yeah.
for putting
A
this
whole lot of
together, and I'm happy that we were able to bring it through the committee and get it done.
Yeah, and being at the meeting, and Mr. Fields was at the meeting as well, he said I can envision this getting bigger and bigger and bigger, eventually being like a brochure, So, great job, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. All right, so we can move into new business. Anyone have any new business to report this evening? Dr. Gunness?
I have two items. The first is that we're in the middle of our winter sports, and the boys' basketball is February 7th versus J.P. Stevens. So, the board members, if you get there, and as Teresa was mentioning, these are the kids that have been playing for quite some time since they were little, and now they're seniors, so they deserve the recognition. The second thing is that the last meeting, I mentioned about the value of attending county school board meetings and state school board meetings. Most recently, I attended this past Tuesday night, the Middlesex County School Boards Association meeting. I put that into everybody's packet because we were talking about the strategic plan. We've just come through setting our district goals for this year and our board goals for this year. It turns out that two of our goals have to do with wellness and caring and trust. And this particular past Middlesex County School Boards Association had a good attendance specifically on that third item, which was supporting students' social, emotional, and academic development. And Assistant Superintendent Brunelli mentioned going out to East Brunswick High School, et cetera. This actually was led by the superintendent of North Brunswick and the superintendent of West Windsor Plainsboro, because over the past 5 years, they've had a lot of issues with the students in terms of social and emotional issues. And it was almost like a TED Talk. The person got up and talked about something. But what I wanted to emphasize is that our students are overstressed, exhausted, facing academic and social pressures, and fixated on social media and outside influences. And districts grapple with the challenges of student mental health crisis. So what can a Board of Education do to support their students? And that's what the discussion is. So it fits very well into what we have as goals for the district as board members. And I wanted to mention to you that it was so successful, and as Mary Ann had mentioned, they're going to do it again at the May 1st, 2019 meeting. And what's been great about the county meetings is that they're free to board members. You just have to go online and sign up. And the New Jersey School Board over the years has worked on trying to get sponsors like ELF, NJ, et cetera, so they pay for the food. So how they get people to come, it's at St. Pierre's in South Brunswick. And so you go and you get a free meal, and then you get to hear this particular, and so the value is you get to meet other board members, you get to talk about an issue that everybody is grappling with, you may be able to get some ideas. I mean, the one I took away from here that I'll mention, if we ever get around to implementing anything, is that in West Windsor, Plainsboro, they have Google from third grade to the high school, but for $40,000, they came up with a thing called Gaggle, which is a program that monitors a lot of the kids' social media and things like that, so it was very helpful. So I learned that, and so if it ever comes up here, we can take from the others. Anyway, that's all I had. I thought it was great, so I hope that we can all, if you have a chance to go in May, go in May.
I was just checking my calendar as you brought that up. I think fiscal may conflict in May.
Okay.
Just I think it's currently scheduled for May 1st.
Teresa, also wanted to thank your tutelage and your staff. I generally think of character as who you are when people are not watching, and I wanted to thank particularly your administration staff, Ms. Pongrantz, for giving our high school students the opportunity to be a part of a Middlesex County Youth Empowerment Group. I happened to be there with some other students, and it was great to see Piscataway represented there, going through classes, mentoring, visiting college and understanding that this is possible and is real, and pushing advocacy for advanced placement. So I want to thank that. Ms. Pongrantz, thank you for allowing the students to do that. Dr. Ranelli, as you mentioned, he's going around to East Brunswick, but what he didn't know is that I actually saw him along with Mr. Lester, Principal Lester, going around to our local businesses advocating for internships. So I happened to see you at Johnson & Johnson. I believe you saw my wife there as well. So again, character is who you are when no one's watching, and they're always advocating for our students. So I thank you for that highly. It was just a pleasure just to see our
A
students
lot of
represented.
people doing great work.
Yes, great work. We're doing awesome.
Really are.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anything else they wanted to mention? I just have one final thing. If you would all just keep your just one eye, at this point. If you would just keep your eyes and ears open for emails, Ms. Deepan will be sending out an email, or already sent out the email actually, in regards to the book club that we are reestablishing. The sooner we get those recommendations for books, the better. I know last night we discussed perhaps looking into a focus or narrowing down our focus on educational equity. And so if you have any recommendations, even if it's journals or if it's just an idea of something that we can discuss, or we can put a focus or some sort of a path for the year as far as what we're going to be reading, that would be great. So the sooner, I know some of you already responded, and the sooner we do that, the better. So that we can go ahead and move on it, because the months move pretty quickly, and I know we want to get as many of those out there as possible, as many book club meetings as possible. And we will look at both Saturdays and evenings during the week. So the second email that would go out would be probably the doodle calendar thing, where it's a survey for dates. So please, I will usually send out a little message to everyone that says check your email when that comes out, or Addie can do that, so that we can make sure that we start looking at what works for folks, what works best for everyone. Okay, so just keep your eyes open for emails.
Thanks for the reminder.
All right, thank you so much. Anybody else have any new business? All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming, and thank you for your
Yeah,
support.
nice to see you all.
Thank you.